I just wanted to talk about my experience in Israel. Sorry, there's some lag on the phone. Anyway, so I went to Israel on a birthright trip and wanted to talk about my quote-unquote atheist experience. This was during the New Year's. That was right when there was a lot of turmoil in Gaza. There still is. And I just thought it's such a crazy thing that people do this terrible stuff to each other because, hey, they were both promised the same thing. And it's just amazing what people will do because they think that God told them something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just hard to wrap my mind around.
Yeah, and you know the weird thing is you mentioned something that really kind of got my head working for a second about two people felt that they've been promised something. If you imagine, in this case, they haven't even been promised something. They claim that their ancestors were supposedly promised something. It's not like they themselves have been promised. If you have two kids and you actually promised them both, I don't know, something that you could really only give to one of them. You know, I promised you both the house when I die, and you end up leaving it to one of them. That's a real problem. But I doubt that, you know, 3 generations down the line, or even, I don't know, several years down the line, they're going to be warring over it. They probably would have, you know, they may be pissed at each other and not talk. Actually, they should be pissed at you. You're the one that made the crappy promise.
Seriously.
And really what they're saying is, oh, I don't believe he left it to you. Well, I don't believe he left it to you. In this case, obviously, you've got some paperwork, and if you didn't, there might be some fight over it. And the sensible thing that most judges would do if there wasn't any paperwork would say, congratulations, we're going to split it down 50-50. I don't care which one he told, if either of you. In this case, when we're talking about something that ancestors were promised, now we're almost into a study on reparations, which I've talked about before, that I'm opposed to reparations beyond the actual generation that was in fact maligned. But I don't want to get off on a tangent there. So did something in particular happen, or were you just commenting on how confusing it was to see these people fighting over something on the name of religion?
Well, I mean, obviously we weren't under fire or anything. That's probably for the best. I mean, going to Jerusalem was kind of weird. There's just all these different people, particularly looking at the Wailing Wall.
Yeah.
There are soldiers with giant guns and Orthodox Jews on their cell phones. It's just so crazy. It's just such a strange place. I mean, it's beautiful, but in a landscape, but very
yeah. And I stopped in Haifa when I was in the Navy. I mean, there's lots of places in and around the Med that I thought were just gorgeous. I mean, granted, there is beauty there. There was interest there. There's certainly not a tract of land that I would be fighting for centuries.
Right.
You know, I've also been to some islands that I might fight over the islands for centuries. You know, when I was in Rhodes and Corfu or the Virgin Islands, I can see fighting over that. I can't see fighting over a desert or a strip of crappy land where nothing really grows. I mean, yeah, you can paint a pretty picture. You know, desert pictures are beautiful. One of the reasons that they're beautiful is because it's a little different from what you normally see, because nobody really wants to frickin' live there. Hey, let me hang a picture of a desert on my wall so I can see something beautiful and appreciate the fact that I'm not stuck out there without food or water. I mean, it plus, you know, colors, but...
Although I did pick up the best souvenir ever from the Holy Land.
Really?
Yeah, I got a golden calf piggy bank, so I can worship a
Golden
false idol
calf
and
piggy
money.
banks.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Golden
yeah.
calf